Hi everyone, I'm Angel Wu. Welcome to Taiwan is my home. Have you ever seen Sichuan opera face changing? It's a very interesting art performance. His face changes completely by waving his hand or the fan. Some amazing performance can change 10 to 20 different face expressions. But Hong Kong movie star Liu Dehua, although being the king of movie stars, when he first go to Sichuan to learn this technique, he spent a lot of effort because it cannot be taught to daughters but sons, and it cannot be taught to the outsiders. But our main character story today is a daughter. And a daughter who came to Taiwan for marriage, but her parents made exception for her. She learned very hard, hoping for Taiwan to take care of her and family who love her. There are many chances to see this incredible skill. Actually, places like this is what we negotiate. It's very hard. It's already considered good. Sometimes when we perform, there's no dressing room. It's difficult for us grooming in the toilet. Every time performing on the stage, she has to make up from at least 1 hour before. Not only because she takes every performance seriously, but also because of this technique is learned from her father. This is her pride as a daughter in Sichuan. Sorry. Are you going out again? I'm coming. Thanks. Sorry. Filming from a distance, we are unable to see the secret. Actually, there's a rule where it can only be taught to sons, not daughters, but she is an exception.
我们高老师的川剧变脸。
During the performance, the most important makeup is all came from her talented hands. Hundreds of facial makeups are all her effort. This is the effect of face making. Oh, it's so different. 46 years old Gao Yuhan is now able to perform on the stage in Taiwan. Building her own performing business is not easy. Now recalling, she found that this is not in her life plan. If she didn't marry to Taiwan from Chongqing, if she was in a completely different homeland, she wouldn't have wanted to step in the field of performing, inheriting from her father. I met my husband at the time. I met him, then I think when I'm in China, I taught kindergarten for 10 years, so I feel boredom in this job already. I want to change the environment, another business, a new trial. Don't even know what it is, but I want to change the environment. I can come to Taiwan since I met my husband, then I can meet new friends and have new chances. Recalling then, I was quite brave for this decision. I can't do the same now. It's really fate. Since she was 26, she was able to use as she learned. She was already an experienced preschool teacher. Because hitting the SOE reform in the 1990s in China, she gave up her career and went to coast to work. And at that time, she met her Taiwanese husband. Actually, I was worried after I met my husband. Am I really going to Taiwan with this person? I can't imagine my future. Do I really know him? I don't. But I have an uncle here. Then I got to know him and his family through my uncle. My uncle says Maino is a nice place, natural and humble. My husband have good manners at home. So I'm not afraid as long as he's beside me. Like any mistakes can be dissolved when he's by my side. Marrying to Taiwan is equivalent as giving up herself, all her accumulation in her homeland, friends, family, and achievements. She had to start everything from zero. Of course, she's worried. As expected, when she first came to Taiwan, she started a long journey of adaptation because she married to a very traditional village, Meinong. Since I come to Taiwan from a working career woman, I become a housewife, organizing house chores. The gap is too big. I think I'm disconnected with the society. My only information source is TV news. I felt down when I didn't have friends here. I have to thank my mother-in-law. She really cared for me at the time. She brought me out to meet her friends. When I'm in Meinong, I met many Chinese brides like me. Then when I really get to know them, I found I had to change myself. I can't be selfish. I have to blend in this environment. So I tried to learn Hakka language. At first, I didn't really want to learn. How can it be easy to integrate? But she is fortunate to have her mother-in-law accept her sincerely. This opened her mind to see her husband's home as her home. This took her 10 years. During this tough Chongqing girl wanted to do something for her second homeland, Taiwan. She sold food, tried to find job, but she always wanted to let Taiwanese to know more about Sichuan and understand more about Chongqing. I think this is a cultural inheritance. Taiwan has Taiwanese opera, and Sichuan opera has some familiar point with Taiwanese opera, also some difference. So I thought I could bring different things to Taiwan. She came back to her homeland, Chongqing, to ask her father to teach her the technique of face changing. Actually, I have longed to learn this skill from Dad, and at the time he only inherited to inner than outer, to men, not to women. I'm not qualified for both. Dad is a man with his own policy. When he retired and left that workplace, then is he willing to teach me this skill again and again. I told Dad that I want to be on stage again in Taiwan because I love stages. Being able to sing, read, do, fight is the basic of almost every kind of traditional opera. The most difficult thing in face changing is the figure, and figure is not something that can be changed in a day. But if you start with a good figure, it is only a technique. When you become familiar with this technique and practice a lot, you will be able to master it. The most difficult thing is the figure. Every single movement, every performance have a good pose. Although it's only a few years ago when she started to learn from her father, but actually, when she was 6 years old, she's already practiced figure with her father. Now recalling, it seems that she was destined to be a performer. Then when I changed faces, this is my face. Is it similar to mine? From head to toe, all these things are handmade, but our faces are 3D, hard to mold. Not like 2D objects, easier. It's hard to make 3D object. You have to make a model according to my face. Then I will cut and make according to that model. Her Sichuan face changing is not only a traditional Sichuan opera, but she also added innovation and Taiwanese elements, such as the butterfly image into face makeup into the performance. The concentration during work and the strictness during everyday practice is all for the perfect performance. Summer in Taiwan, hot temperature, hot June sun spraying above heads, wearing heavy clothes, and the layers of heavy makeup is not relaxing, but in front of audience, she becomes a different person after makeup. Every body spin is done accurately. 10 years practice is always for this moment on the stage. Short distance performance changing all in a moment. Audience answers by applauding, all the stress will be forgotten. Years ago, the wife who married to Taiwan is troubled about blending into Taiwan. Now confidently standing on the stage, now she's not the Chongqing girl who's not able to adapt to the new environment. Now her only son had grown up and become an adult, went to Hangzhou for college, and their marriage became more and more harmonious. As a military traveler, her husband was not very considerate, but he is now the power supporting behind her. Following her performance from south to north, supporting her using her Sichuan opera face-changing culture as a way of communication with the Taiwanese. The main character of next story is also an art master. It's the master of art of cooking. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to Taiwan is my home. No one is unfamiliar with curry, but a really good curry uses 10 or maybe dozen types of spice to create rich layer and integrating flavor. It is really not easy, and today's story main character is a famous curry master. In the beginning, there was a 5-star hotel that spent big money to have him become main chef in Taiwan. Many customers try it and love it. Unfortunately, good chefs are wanted everywhere. But a while ago, this curry big chef came back to Taiwan again. This time, he did not come for money, but this master became the Taiwan son-in-law. Hot air flows in the small kitchen. Wearing a neat white chef uniform, the chef major sweat come out of forehead. But the work on his hand cannot be stopped at any moment. Fried ginger yellow rice, the smell floats in the air. Rich and beautiful layers comes from the combination of spices. To Mayur, this is a special aroma from his homeland. Growing up in New Delhi, India, he never thought that he would have his own business and even stay in this Pacific island, Taiwan. Baby, there's some yogurt in the flour. Baby, the naan is done. Okay. This person who is called Baby by Mayur is the person who made him stay away from his homeland and long live in Taiwan. His wife, Rosa. You named him, right? I think about 1 million or more people in Taiwan ask me this, why my name is Mayoyo. The Indian pronunciation for Mayur is a bit tricky for Taiwanese, so Rosa had an idea, gave him a Chinese name same as the famous cellist Mayoyo. His Mayur, And Mayoyo is quite famous, so this name is Bright. Yeah, at first, yeah. At first, I don't really know this guy is. I just say pick any Chinese name. Yeah, like that. If it's Rosa's wish, Mr. Mayoyo, he would smile and agree with. But India is a very traditional, preserved country. Growing up in this environment, this foreign son-in-law actually had a big man character. I'm quite fierce. She's the waitress and I didn't know. I remember she was mistaken once or twice. Then I hit and say, "How can you do this?" She said nothing, taking the dish to the customer. Then her tears fell on that customer's table. Then that person says, "Hey, someone cried." Then her manager asked her, "Why are you crying?" She don't answer. Then later they know it's me.
You see this one? After you copy paste to here.
That time, Mayur and Rosa, one was the main chef in the 5-star hotel, one was the part-time service worker. The place where they first met was not romantic at all, but no one had imagined that they would have relation because of this very different kind of first meeting. He's really different with Taiwanese men. If he sees this something to do like this, then has to do like this. He's brave. He will do it if he thinks it's not right, not fearing making enemies. I was scared when there. Well, so you mean you're stiff, huh? Yeah. This Indian man had great impression to this girl's tears and her toughness, and fell in love to her weak and strong character, and the Taiwanese girl discovered the attitude approaching perfect from the Indian man. They saw each other's goodness and started fall in love. At first, he applied the job to Canada before. Even my visa matters, yeah. I want to buy the airplane ticket and go back. And then she started crying. She said, "Just stay here for work." Yeah, then we just didn't go back then. Ma Yo-yo was a famous chef that many international hotels wanted to hire. He was supposed to take the world down with his amazing cooking skills, and Taiwan was only a stop during the journey, but he decided to stay for love. He started with a very easy Chinese name, Ma Yo-yo, to create a family that crosses over the cultural difference between India and Taiwan. And the first challenge for this Indian chef is the Chinese language skill to convince her parents. I think that's an interview in front of everyone. "What are you doing?" Like that. I remember when I first go to her house, there's a lot of people and English translator there. And my Chinese is not that good at all. So, yeah, like that. So there's a translator there. Whatever I talk, he translated to her mom and his dad and the sisters. Yeah. Then they say, "You should learn Chinese, okay? You should learn this, okay? And you should learn driving, okay? And you can live here, okay?" They've been through all the cross-cultural marriage testimonies. They have to ask both families' permission to decide to go to your country or my country. Then food to usual daily habits, thousands of difference seeking the perfect balance for both. So when you go back to India, did you feel not used to the food? No? Not really. Maybe I'm trying to not make so spicy. Others is just fine. So you eat spicy before? We'll make it specially spicier. Yeah, but there's no spicy dishes here. There's a lot of dishes that you can't eat, some with heavy flavors, the spicy ones, right? Yeah, the one that is too much, she doesn't know herself, you know. She can't eat many things there. And the cultural too. The cultural differences, such as the Indian tradition, which they eat with bare hand. Rosa thinks rice is too hot and still cannot adapt to it. But excluding that, Rosa is already an exceptional Indian daughter-in-law. Of course, Mayoyo decided to stay in Taiwan for his wife. He is really an excellent husband because he takes his wife's homeland as his second homeland. For Rosa, he can give up his chance working in Canada and the comfortable zone in 5-star hotels, starting business by himself and set up vendor at night market, start from Indian dishes. Go steadily, now he has his own Indian restaurant. There are 3 spots in Taipei already. 3 ladies, is this your number? Okay, come in, sit inside. Is there anything I can tell you or see the menu maybe? Do you have the curry veggie one? The veggie one. There's only baked potato. Generous Rosa and straightforward Mayur, their character fit together. It can be seen from many small spots. When Mayur is in the kitchen, concentrating to control the quality of the meal and the speed, Rosa takes care of greeting customers outside. The two have great chemistry. If their relation was not deep enough to understand and accept each other, they wouldn't be able to work together so well. Mayur, this Taiwanese son-in-law, plays a good role, understands well about his life's homeland, Taiwan. Even the settings in the Indian restaurant, we can see the cultural mix with both India and Taiwan. In this corner at the counter, we can see Taiwanese lamp with South Indian god statue. It's, you can say, simple for the good. You can put it in Taiwan, it's used for good, come, money to come, or like this. This is also India's. Taiwan is longer, right? Is it? Taiwan is longer, so this is India's. Taiwan use this, right? Indians pray like this, quite special. This means money will keep rolling in, coming in like that. Every single setting is filled with their creativity, and it also reacts in their dishes. In Rosa and Mayur's restaurant, we can taste South and North Indian family dishes and dishes of 14 different states in India. Curry, spice lamb, ginger yellow rice, scones, rice cakes. In this narrow kitchen, smelling different kinds of spices, Indian language echoes in ears. To Indian chef Taiwanese son-in-law Mayur, this is the place he left for, to Taipei, the small India he constructed. This curry master now has 2 restaurants in Taiwan, creates delicious curries for customers, and we welcome you to follow our show to taste more rich Taiwan tastes. Goodbye.